part or the most challenging part when we look at before deep learning comes in. Okay, so feature extraction, say for example, if I want to recognize an face, the features is as how human we recognize a face, it's very difficult to explain, but still we have the most important information from the eye, and then the nose, and how the texture of the face looks, all those things, right? So but feeding this to the system or a computer or a machine is the challenging task. Okay, so the feature extraction role was very domain specific, or it can do only a very specified task. Say for example, when the machine learning was there before deep learning, when or before AI algorithms, when I say machine learning, if you see, we have to give the features, that is what we called as a handcrafted features, and then we go for the any task, that is the detection or the segmentation. All these comes under the high level image processing, which is required to have a decision making. Okay, so we'll see the applications of all these things, but the enroll or the development of the DL algorithms under AI, if you see, this has become a data driven. Okay, the feature extraction, which was in handcrafted, has become a data driven. So that is the whole leap into the DL algorithms for the past 10, 11 years. So the most common types of computer vision problems, if we want to tell what kinds of problems generally the computer vision deals with, is the most simple, or what we can say, it's not as simple, but the first level is the classification. So this is shown with a simple example as cat or a dog, but this is applicable for any domain we think of. Okay, so the important skill, if you see here, is how you formulate your data and what type of classes you require for your system to understand is the first step involved in defining any of the computer vision problems. And followed by it, the next level is actually classification plus localization. Okay, so we'll see the kind of different applications where these kinds of aspects are really required. Okay, so the major area in which our team and Sen is focusing on is one of the major areas is the biomedical data processing. So in that, the localization is very important. Okay, not only just the classification, but the localization is also important. So here it tells what the object is and where the object is present. That is the answer it gives it. Classification just tells what the object is, but it doesn't tell where it is. In case of the classification plus localization, what and where will be answered. Okay, and then we have the multiple object detection. That is, it's not only the animal, or it's not only the single object. It should be able to understand the complete environment or the complete surroundings, which is actually mapped to the multiple object detection. And then the last, or the if you see here, it is a semantic segmentation, which is actually a very high level image processing, and it is a very challenging task where we must be able to give them as an instances. Okay, or each of this that is actually very important for a kind of tracking applications. Okay, this is applicable even for human tracking or the drone tracking, multiple drones, if you have tracking those individually and then getting the information. So that is actually a very high level and the most challenging problem in the computer vision. So far we have seen what is the computer vision and what are the components or the system, what are the components or what are the modules that is required in order to make an end-to-end computer vision system, and then what are the different problem types or the most common problem types people make it, or the researchers clutter under what segment or what class it is or where it is. Okay, so that is where we are in. Now, I have few applications to show and just to see where all, I think, a daily use we have it. Okay, so one is in retail, and then agriculture, manufacturing, transportation, healthcare. What do you ask? Okay, where we can just fit in the computer vision. Okay, so that is already there. So I'll traverse through few of these applications to get an idea on the different computer vision part which is already in use. The first to start with, this you can see that it is under a manufacturing. So the first one, if you see how protective equipments they have worn. Okay, so this is the one which people have even mapped to the COVID-19, okay, or the COVID protocols. Okay, so the protocols was to wear the mask and to maintain the social distance. So it is very difficult to employ okay, a policeman or a policing force to just check on in the public. That was very difficult. Okay, so such things can be automated. So this, if you see, it is a kind of a multiple object detection problem with localization. Okay, so this is one of the, that segment can be fit in here for the application. So this is under the personal protective equipment detection problem. So they have to wear the helmet, they have to have the person with the proper jacket must be there. Okay. And the right side, if you see, it is a defect part detection. So which is all has been done manually can now be automated. That is all the tasks where the human efforts is required enormously. Okay, because we are not so used to do a repetitive task without losing our energy. So the morning when I start, I'll be very active, but as the time goes, if I just have to work for 10 hours, and maybe at the ninth and 10th hour, the efficiency of my performance or the human performance may degrade. Okay, so that is where our machine can assist us or help us. Okay, so that is a kind of look, or that is a kind of prospect we can look for it. So this is actually a defect part. So where you can see that it is actually the multiple object detection along with the multiple class being involved. Okay, so this is to see that no, whether it is in a normal, so there is no defect, and if it is a class 1, it is with a minimal defect. Class 2, it is with a medium defect, and class 3, when we say, it is a major defect. Okay, so this is what I was telling, that when we are designing our problem, what kind of classes is actually required for our problem statement should be made very clear, because it cannot be just an abstract. Okay, so that is the most important information there. So, and how do you define these classes? How do you know that it comes under the class 1 defect or it comes under the medium level defect? This is where the domain knowledge person or the domain expert must be involved. Say for example, if I'm working for a computer vision application in manufacturing, then I need a group of people or the domain experts who know about what all those things and how to categorize that. Okay, so that knowledge should be able to import in as an annotation task. Okay, so without a domain expert, just an algorithm stepping in is not an is not going to make a very great success over there. Okay, and this is in terms of the healthcare. So this is for the hospital hygiene compliance. Okay, so these all has been done by different company tasks. So I have given the link below to see that. Okay, so it is a particular company which is actually doing the computer vision applications for a different sectors. Okay, so here if you see what kind of dirt is there. Okay, so here if you see, no, you don't need a manual inspection to go and see that. No, so if you have a camera and if you know, if you have the venue over there, you can just employ the person to go and clean it, or even if we can have our own okay system to do the automated cleaning over there. Okay, so this is this, if you see, it is actually a two kind of class they have designed. So it is a dirt which has a solid dirt and the liquid dirt. Okay, so if you see that the bounding box, when it comes, it is actually a localization is also it is doing. So it is telling where the dirt is present. So we'll be able to have the particular venue and go and clear it. Okay, so this is where our human inspection is not required, or now everybody is looking for a high level jobs because everybody is getting educated and moving. So such things we may not have an employees to deploy in. So in that cases, the vision systems helps it. If you just see this aspect, yeah. So this everybody have known it. Okay, so this is a COVID net, so which to detect the abnormalities in lungs, and the most challenge people faced is that how to differentiate between the pneumonia and the COVID. So this is where I mentioned that without the radiologist or the doctor support in annotating that and making the data ready, then the DL algorithm is not at all possible. Okay, so we can deploy in and we can make it as an end-to-end system only if the data being annotated properly with respect to the domain experts knowledge. Okay, so we have to see it's not just seeing the X-ray and telling that this is COVID or this is pneumonia, but instead they are just annotating and telling which region has been affected, so that the AI based algorithm will be able to learn better. So it is actually the area which is actually emerges. So also emerged and emerging is the explainable AI and the interpretable AI. So people don't want to just believe on the system, which is very difficult every one of us to believe in. Say for example, if I have a autonomous car now, okay, I'll be very hesitant to get into, and because I have thousands of questions in my mind, like how it will be safe or how far it is. So of course we need an interpretability and we need an explainable to see that no, this is what it is doing. Say for example, how we believe the experienced doctors rather than the fresh ones, right? So this is a kind of thing. So the annotations when we are doing, we have to make in such that what is actually being given is to the AI, and what the AI algorithm is learning is also very important. So that leads to the explainable AI or the interpretability AI. And this is the for the lung cancer classification model. So you can see that here, if you see along with the normal, they are defining the other cancer regions. So it will tell you what percentage of it. Okay, so it is able to tell about, say for example, in this case, the left lower lobe, it has a kind of a cancer involved with 96% confidence, and normal it's only 4%. Okay, so this defining of classes is actually pertinent to the domain experts being involved. Okay, so this is with respect to the CT medical imaging. So it will not be just single layer, so you will have multiple layers of this data. So pre-processing this data and feeding right into it is one of the challenge over there. But all these are what we can say is the first level diagnosis assisting system, because say suppose now most of them are cautious to take the complete healthcare checkup at least once in a year, and we can't have no every data to be checked by a physician all over, whereas the ratio of the population and towards the physicians are very less. Okay, so in that case it can be the assisting level, and then the later it can be diagnosed, or the experts can take in the health, so that the time for them to make all these diagnoses or can be reduced, and they can effectively utilize in treating the patients. Okay, so that is a major focus in the healthcare aspect. And this is one thing where it is a patient rehabilitation monitoring. We know now that no, like everyone is behind job, and we have very few left in the home to take care of our parents or the old people. That situation is highly arising. So of course, no, I have my colleague. Okay, so where his mom is almost, his mom is alone there. So he has his vision system deployed. So whenever his mom, there are many false positives there. Say for example, if mom is slightly turning, he'll get an alarm. But it is better. He has always a continuous monitoring over there. So it is a kind of a their pose estimation or the fall detection part. So at least we'll not will it's not that no, anyone physically go there and see and then they get the news. At least they could be able to monitor in prior, so that we are going to go for a work life balance or something. Okay, because we have to manage our lifestyle too. So in this cases, if you see, this is one of the most important tasks which most of them are looking for, is a home patient rehabilitation monitoring, to have their access or to monitor them remotely. So here also we have to first detect where the person is, because the particular patient can move anywhere in the room. So they must be able to detect, and they must be able to see their pose, okay, how it is and how what is. So then they're about to fall, it should be a kind of an alarm where we can go and do an immediate first aid, not waiting for so many long hours over there. Okay, so these all with respect to the healthcare. So now with respect to the agriculture, especially, this is with respect to the automated farming. Okay, so to see that, how many livestocks are there, what is the what is the count over there. So everything is a kind of a remote monitoring over there. Okay, so this is also a kind of an object detection with respect to the multiple part. Okay, so this is for the animal monitoring. And if you see here, as we have the disease detection with respect to the modality of the CT or MRI, so this is also true for the plant leaf disease detection. And the most challenging here will be only the experts who have involved know the difference between the different kinds of plants over there. And we, for example, if I am not towards any of the agriculture field, I may feel that every plant is, or every plant leaf looks uniform. So the most challenge will be like, how will we feed the data? And most probably, you have the complex environment being involved. So when you take a photograph, are you covering the entire field through the drone, or are you using a handheld camera? Okay, so those are the acquisition systems which we have to refine it when we are making our problem statement. And also the types of diseases. Okay, and most important here will be the stages of the diseases to detect, so that the farmers can interfere in early detection, and they can make the okay, precautionary steps earlier. Okay, and the most important thing is that not giving the pesticides throughout the entire farm uniformly, but instead to go and see it's a kind of no which region is affected, and can we just go for a kind of a personalized thing, rather than just uniformly distributing the pesticides over the entire field over there. Okay, so this plant leaf disease detection. So this, when we say plant leaf disease detection, of course it is it's not that very easy to build a common computer vision systems for, say, apple leaf disease detection, tomato leaf disease detection, all coming together. It's very challenging. So we should have a multiple systems first to detect whether it comes under the apple leaf or the tomato leaf. First it has to categorize that, then it has to go and check under apple leaf which stage it is, under tomato leaf which stage it is. Okay, so it should be a kind of multi-level detection, and the multi-level classification system must be planned over here. And this is a kind of an insects detection for the pest control. One of our students, he has his own detection system, where in his upstairs there is always peacock come and interfere and make all their saplings damaged. So every time to go and check in the upstairs is very difficult. So whenever, but there are many false positives that even when a bird comes and sits, it gives in the alarm. But still, if we have the kind of peacock interfering, then we have the kind of a detection. So there, what we have to see, we have to, similar like animal or the person monitoring what we are doing here, we have to give the information about the different birds or the different insects coming over there. Okay, so the output will be a kind of thing. So I'm seeing that how many insects are there, okay, where all it is located. Okay, so those, usually here people don't go for a handheld camera. People will at least look for the drone which covers at least a minimum area of their field. Okay, so next, coming to the transportation, this is one of the most important applications which most of them are asking for, or most of them are interested in. So if we are looking for a parking lot, okay, so especially looking for a, say, where a mall is there, and every time you go and you have a security in order to just check where whole parking lot and tell you where the system, but instead if you just step in, it should show which all the parking lots are free, and then it should guide you or direct you towards that. So for which first it should know what the vehicle is, so, and then see where the vehicle is, and then it should able to read the parking lot number, and that parking lot number should be given as the output to the car which is entering in, and then it should know the direction from there to lead from your position to there. So you can see that it is a multiple system that has been integrated to have this application as an end to end. Okay, so which all the things is vacant, it will tell you. Okay, and then make it. And this is one most common, I think now it's almost in place. So if we are crossing the speed limit in highways, your number plate okay, will be detected, and it will go and look for the how the address associated through Aadhaar it will take, and it will provide you the fine system, and it will even provide the link to pay your fine, right? And now this is in the highways where the cameras are deployed. In signals, I could see that traffic signals, the traffic police just take the picture of the number plate, and the rest of the things are done all digitally. Okay, so here the most challenging, or the things where the system may fail, or the system may face the challenges, when you move in a very rapid part, the image or the data, the video that has been captured will always be slightly blurred. Okay, so in that case, how that is where the pre-processing comes into picture. So how effectively we can remove the blur and take that number information properly is a great challenge. And always the number plate numbers will not be very clear. Sometimes it will be slightly damaged, where even with our eye it will be very difficult to know whether what number it is. So it will be kind of partially hidden data or partially removed data will be there. So those are the challenges. And here you can see that the number plates which are visible is fine. Say for example, you want to see something beyond that, then how will we have that unseen data? Okay, so those are the challenges that usually comes in for this number plate recognition. So all these comes under the transportation part. And now people are working in such kind of applications where it is for driver attentiveness detection. Okay, so most of the accident cases, especially people those who are driving through night when they are just slept, okay, the people tell that it is a momentary difference, but of course detecting that momentary thing is a very great challenge. But it is mainly, if you're able to track the position of the eye, and is it towards a sleeping mode, it get the kind of an alarm says that no, you just be alert, or you just stop your car for a few hours and then you drive later. Okay, so this they are trying to make it as a fast, because the most important is that you have to get a response within seconds, not it will take a very deep time, or high time to detect that. Okay, so it is a kind of a driver attentiveness detection with respect to this. If you see, the algorithm which works based on the key point detection. Okay, so it looks only for the key points, and then sees or tracks about the movement of the eye. Okay, these are related to the transportation. And you also, we can see any pedestrian detection in the areas. Okay, so all these can be done under the remote monitoring. So it is mainly for the person or any object. Okay, and this pedestrian detection we can just deploy in any of the zones which we look for, not only the transportations, but any of the zones where the physical attentiveness or going and checking it physically will be a very difficult task over there. So this is for the road condition monitoring. So all these applications comes under the transportation part. So mainly in the road condition monitoring, it is the detecting of the cracks. Okay, so if you have many zones, it is very difficult for a particular officer to come and detect in every part. So if we have a system deployed where we can just see, whether the crack is present or not, to take the action accordingly. Road condition monitoring. So all these are the just to see, gist of the applications under different domains as transportation, healthcare, agriculture, and retail. When I say it is actually, it should be able to see what are the things you have purchased, and it should be able to automatically barcode and calculate your amount, so that your waiting time has been reduced over there. So still it is yet to be deployed in India, but it is actually possible in the near future. So the most challenge in the computer vision is that how will you formulate your input? Of course, those are images, but how will you? It's not just one sample is enough for your machine to learn. Okay, so how will you design your number of samples? All those things are the challenges. And output, how do you need it? Whether it's just a need of an action, okay, diagnosis. All those are actually the challenge. It should be validated by an expert before even deploying there, and we have to see where the machine is failing, and we have to reformulate and make the data accordingly to relearn, or to remodel, or to update the model. So the mapping is mainly based upon the algorithms, where we need the knowledge of these statistics and learning. When we say all those algorithms comes into the picture. In computation, of course, the computing facility. Okay, so you just think of dealing with these many images and videos. Okay, so the computing facility plays an important role. So all these are the aspects, challenging aspects in the computer vision. If you see, if people want to know what kind of related disciplines actually should look for, you can see that we have two Venn diagrams over there, where you can see that it is actually a knowledge over the artificial intelligence, which covers your machine learning, deep learning algorithms. And then the cognitive science, when we say how our brain is processing and how do you map that into your algorithms, and all the basic image processing things, because for all the pre-processing you need the conventional image processing techniques in order to make your data noisy free, or data clear before giving into the processing part. So as for the subjects or the courses named, this is where people offer in as signal processing, pattern recognition, image processing, AI, and mathematics. Of course, without that, understanding those algorithm and changing or making change to the parameters, or to see, like how why it failed, but how you will change your algorithm or modify your algorithm to tackle that error and make it better. Of course, the strong mathematics is required. Under that, it's mainly the linear algebra, probability and statistics plays an most important role, and model thing optimization plays an important role. So all these are the one which comes under the mathematics part. And of course the knowledge of the physics, when they mean the now no people talk about the physics informed neural networks. That is in order to understand about your system, because certain systems, if you see for human system it is very difficult to understand, but there are certain mechanical systems which you can define it, or you can make it design so that okay, so how what kind of parameters disturbs your system, so accordingly you can model it. So all these are the related discipline knowledge which we require in order to be a master in computer vision. So these are the so if you want to have a brain map for this, what are the different aspects, even under the image acquisition. So the one flow shows your computer vision system. The other flow shows about what are the different concrete applications. So which can be the scene reconstruction. That is one of the important applications in most of the okay, building plans if you want to make it. So that is very important. And then the content based image retrieval, recognition, tracking, motion estimation. These are all the different applications or the streams that comes under the computer vision. All the top whatever is given, if you see, it is all about the high level image processing, whereas in blue or in the lavender color, whatever you see, it is all the low level image processing task. Yellow talks about the mid level applications, whereas the top orange, all those things talks about end to end application, where the most of the challenges will be involved over there. Okay. So if people are ML practitioner, moving into a DL computer vision will not take, I'll tell that, I'm not telling that it is very easy, but having the efforts to understand these all the things, it is possible. Say for example, we need the foundations of image processing, no doubt in it, data preparation, and the most successful architecture, the base of it is a convolution, and all the architectures under the deep learning part, or under the things, if you see, it is all related to the convolution. So those are the things that comes in, and the classification, detection, and the recognition are the most commonly used modules for the application level. Okay. So these are the, because as I've told, data is very important, you have to annotate. These are the some of the tools which people rely on for that. And then for the libraries, okay, it's OpenCV, PyTorch, SimpleCV, and the Fast AI. And as per the tools are considered, of course, for the computing thing, you rely on NVIDIA, okay, TensorFlow, Keras for the YOLO. All these are the AI-based Keras, which gives in AI, DL algorithms over there. So it's just a function call which we can make in. So all these are the commonly used tools and libraries. So this is the market size for 2017 to 24 in billion. So annual growth rate, if you see, it is 7.6%. Okay, so the growth is expected to be 18.24. Okay, so this is by region wise. You can see that almost every region is contributing over the geography towards the computer vision market. So it is actually one of the thrust field over there to make a significant. And this is the top 10 okay, or top 10 to 15 companies which is actually working in India. Most of them are in Bangalore. Okay, so if you I've just given the logos of all those things. They have their own problem statements and things. If you just move on to each of their sites, they have very clearly given what are the things they are working on. So especially if there are students who are hearing this, they can just go and see about. So it is not only in the towards the globe I'm telling, but in India also there is actually a good future for it. Then most of the things, if you see, they're all startups. Okay, they have they're startups who have okay, crores of funding generated every year for the end-to-end problem. It's something under Make in India thing which comes in. So with this, I would like to end, and I'm open for any questions.
Madam, can you please go to the first slide, because during recording there was some problem. The first slide.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So today our guest was Today our guest was Dr. Sowmya from Sen Department, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. So the main question which arises in my mind is that, as you have mentioned, the main difference between image processing and computer vision, because it's a subset of computer vision, image processing. So we are having the image enhancement, image segmentation, all the process being done. And what is the main, without image processing, will there be any new methodology with the AI which can be incorporated in computer vision?
No. Actually, no. We can't take out the image processing out of the computer vision, because the data which we deal with is actually the images. So the all the pre-processing algorithms or the pre-processing techniques that comes in is actually at the base of the image processing. So the first point what you mentioned is very right, that the image processing serves as one of the subsets under your computer vision to deal with your data aspect. So even if you say AI algorithms actually work on or rely on a data. And that data can be any of the forms like text, image, audio, video. So in which, when we are dealing with the computer vision, when I say, it is mainly towards the image aspect or the video aspect.
And one more thing, when we are going for the AI cameras, that is more enhancement, or the quality or information will be more compared to the ordinary cameras. So it will be extracted, and during the night also, the resolution will be better. So what is the main, what type of cameras usually in different places, as you have mentioned, it is connected with a database or a pattern in order to extract the features.
Yeah.
So
So
how the
actually, if
computer
you
vision plays a vital role in that?
Yeah, so if you see, if you are talking about the image acquisition camera type, so if it is mainly towards the night okay vision, if you want to have, people rely on the thermal and IR cameras. Okay, so that is most important. And if you see, for all the country wise, if you want to make an analysis, all those things, if we see, people rely on the satellite images. Okay, in that satellite images, if you see, you have hyperspectral. When I say, it is not only about the visible region, but also it takes the other regions in the electromagnetic spectrum. But the only thing, as you mentioned, the cost involved is also a very challenging part. Okay, so say for example, in all the agriculture applications, we could see that the IR and the NIR information plays an important role over there, other than just the visible region. So visible region, it may reflect maybe in a later time, but early detection is possible if we have the thermal or the IR cameras over there. And of course, handling this with a proper computing facility or the memory capacity is of course a challenging. We can't just make a trade-off. Say for example, I just have a laptop with 16 GB memory, and if I want to process the hyperspectral image or that, it is going to be a challenging task. So that trade-off should be made accordingly. So now people are looking for, can we just have at least the first level detections with just the RGB? But as you mentioned, in the night vision, all those things, if we need, of course, we need either thermal or the IR to come into the picture.
Okay, so it was a wonderful session by Dr. Sowmya from Computational Engineering and Networking Department, Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. So I hope that all the basic fundamentals and the concept was covered of computer vision with the application of artificial intelligence. So thank you for sharing your valuable time on this Sunday. So thank you.
Thank you, Hari. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I thank SEN and Computational Engineering and Networking and Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham under the leadership of Professor Soman, who is actually giving all such opportunities for us to expand to any level we want. And then all the fundamentals has been gained from his classes. So acknowledgement to him forever. Thank you. Thank you, Hari.
Thank you. Thank you.